Okay.
Hello everybody, my name is Thomas and I'm going to be your instructor today, and today we're going to be learning about hypothermia. So hopefully by the end of this lesson you're going to be able to confidently and safely recognize and know how to deal with hypothermia while you're waiting for the emergency health services to come. So basically, what is hypothermia to you guys?
Being really cold.
Yeah, cold. Being
Yep.
cold.
Okay. So basically what hypothermia is your body basically goes into shock. So your core body temperature on average is around 35 degrees Celsius, and whenever your body core temperature is lower than 35 degrees Celsius is when you have hypothermia. And so what do you guys think are some causes of hypothermia, of why you would get hypothermia?
Getting really cold and falling into cold water and not being able to get out for a while.
Being improperly dressed, not having the right clothes on.
Yep.
And not being able to warm up.
Yep, so anything like falling into an ocean or not being properly dressed, like not keeping warm. So basically there's three different types of hypothermia. There's mild hypothermia, moderate hypothermia, and severe hypothermia. So what do you guys think are some symptoms of mild hypothermia? So like if you're in hypothermia, what do you think? Like if someone had hypothermia, what do you think they would be doing? Like what symptoms would they be?
Shivering.
Yep, so
Shivering. Yeah.
Their blood, they would get really pale. And they wouldn't be able to talk very easily.
Yep. These mild or moderate?
Mild.
These are just mild symptoms.
Yeah. So basically, shivering is a really big symptom in hypothermia, because shivering is your body's natural way of warming itself up by rattling your muscles and pumping oxygen throughout your body to get to your vital organs. So that's pretty much it, and just for mild hypothermia, and just also being really tired and lack of coordination and trouble speaking. Like it's hard to speak when you're in hypothermia, and like when you get that when your hands are really cold and you kind of feel that lack of coordination. That's what it's like, and you can't do average things that you'd usually be able to do. So what do you guys think some symptoms of moderate hypothermia are? So
well, they'd be all that, except they'd be worse. So you'd be like, you might not be able to talk. So, you'd be confused.
Yeah, so you'd be more confused, and so maybe instead of being pale, maybe you're
be blue.
Like you'd be blue, like your fingers would maybe be blue, or your toes would be blue. So.
Mhm.
And like shivering, like your shivering is much worse. Like you can't control your shivering. Like it's much more vigorous. And it's like, and you also do really bizarre things. Like for example, like you might want to take your clothes off, like because you think that you're.
Why really would you do that?
Because you're in hypothermia. You're doing like your brain isn't working properly.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you do bizarre things, and clearly that's the worst thing that you want.
Yeah.
And like some things like not being able to pay attention are symptoms.
Yeah, so like lack of concentration and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would falling asleep be one, or like passing out or something?
Yeah. So what are some symptoms of severe hypothermia, like the worst case?
Well, I think that would be passing out. Yeah.
So like being unconscious.
Yeah.
So what do you think breathing?
Your breathing would be shallow.
Really low and shallow.
Like barely breathing at all.
Yeah.
Also, like irregular or no pulse, and like dilated pupils.
Yeah.
So
scary.
So basically, at this time, it's really, really serious, and so no matter what stage of hypothermia you're at, either mild, moderate, or severe, you usually want somebody to be calling on an emergency services, just in case. So how do you guys think you can treat hypothermia? Like if somebody has hypothermia, what do you think you could do to help them?
Get them to a warm environment.
Yep, so So you usually want to remove them from the state that they're in. So if like they're in the water, obviously you want to take them out of the water and put them like take them onto the motorboat onto the dock and try to keep them as warm as possible. And like if just for example, like if usually when you're trying to treat it, if their clothing's wet, you usually want to take off their clothing and give them dry clothing to warm them up. And one really big thing about treating hypothermia is that even though you'd think to try to like warm them up as possible, like thinking like maybe putting them in a shower.
That's bad.
Like it's a bad thing to give them a shower because it can make their state even worse and it'll mess them up.
That right.
And and then stuff like that. And even rubbing the skin, like trying to create friction and warm them up can be can even make them worse. And even like a really hot glass of hot chocolate or something like that can make it completely a lot worse.
That can make it worse?
Yeah, because you don't want to overheat them too
rubbing
much.
the skin can make it worse?
Yeah, because if you rub the skin, it creates friction. It can like mess up the blood.
Overheat them.
Yeah. So, and pretty much anybody with hypothermia should be taken very seriously because it's a really serious thing, and like just anything, like you always want to have health services on the line. So we're gonna do a little activity. So Amelia, can you come here and act like you have hypothermia on the ground here? So like lie on the ground and act like you have hypothermia, like you're just falling in the water and like you're shivering. Mom, come here. So she just fell out of her sailing boat and she's really cold. So what's the first thing you want to do?
I want to get her out of the environment. I want to move her out of the water. I want to put her on the deck, on the dock, and so that we can go to the next step.
Okay. Slow down so he can understand.
I'm scared. I want her to die.
So, and her clothes are really wet because she was in the water. So now what do you want to do?
I want to take off her clothes, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to pretend we're taking off her clothes. So I take off her clothes, and then I would get a warm blanket, and I would get her as comfortable as possible by keeping her really, really nice and warm.
Yes,
like that.
Great job. And so while all this is going on, you want to make sure that somebody is calling an emergency service. So as you can see, he's already on it, calling
call 911, Louis.
And so and as
the ambulance is on its way, what do we do?
So you want to keep them as warm as possible. Make sure. So should we put them in a shower? Should we put Amelia in the shower? Should we give her a hot glass of hot chocolate?
No.
Is that a good thing?
It'll make me worse.
I think you could give her a warm drink as long as it's not too hot. Like you wouldn't want to get really, really, but something like no. Okay. All right.
So you never want to give them too hot of anything, or it can mess them up. So you don't want to put them in the shower or anything, or give them too hot of anything. So okay. So that was a good drill. So you can go back to your seats now.
Oh, it's...
Just for me. Okay, so now that we did that, so what do you think are some ways to prevent hypothermia?
Dress warmly.
Yeah, so one really, really important thing is to always make sure you have lots of layers of clothing to keep you warm. So one thing that you never want to, you want to plan, as much as you can not to wear is cotton, because cotton, well, as you know, it soaks up a lot of water, so it can get really heavy and it can make you really wet and cold. So we want to avoid cotton at all costs, and so basically as many layers as appropriate as you can. So what else? What other ways of prevention do you think that you can do?
Be safe on boats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Safe on boats.
Well, you don't want to fall out of the boat into the water.
Yep.
You want to have good nutrition and make sure that you're hydrated and you have good water, and so.
Yep.
You know.
So hydration and water and nutrition.
Always be with someone just in case something happens.
Always be with a buddy.
Always travel in twos.
Yeah.
Or more.
And have rest breaks, so if you're out and it's, you're not getting too fatigued and tired and...
Yep. So just a lot of the small things are really interesting, like as you said, hydration, nutrition, and like rest and making sure you're picking stopping breaks and stuff. They're all really important things in preventing hypothermia. So that was pretty much it on our hypothermia lesson. So just for a quick review, so you guys understand all the causes of falling into the cold and water, like how hypothermia is caused, all the symptoms of like shivering, being cold, from 3 stages of hypothermia, from mild, moderate, and severe, and the treatment of hypothermia, like how to make sure that they get a dry pair of clothes on, like a blanket, and not overheated or anything, not put in a shower. Make sure that an emergency service is being called. And then last but not least, how to prevent it. So as many layers as you can, safe on boats, hydration, nutrition, all that stuff all comes into play. So, any questions?
No.
No, I think it's pretty clear. Thank you. Can we go out now on the boat?
Just shut off.